most amazing artist. I hope you are having an amazing day so far. This is week 2 of our Keith Haring project for this year. Last week in week 1, we created our drawing, and we created this beautiful, beautiful, positive drawing inspired by Keith Haring. And we drew 2 Keith Haring figures holding up, working together as a team to hold up this big heart. And inside of your heart, your task was to choose a 4-letter positive word that you wanted to share through your artwork, because that's one of our goals in this project, is to share a positive message through our art. Okay, we're spreading the message of teamwork, these 2 figures working together to hold up a giant heart, and we are sharing a positive 4-letter word. Mine is calm, yours might be love or care, grow, glow. There are so many positive 4-letter words that you could have chosen to put inside of your heart. Now for today, we are going to color this, and I'm going to show you a really fun marker technique. And for this, you're going to need washable markers. I'm just using Crayola markers. You're going to need a paintbrush. If you don't have a paintbrush, that's totally fine. You can actually use your finger as your paintbrush today and just dip your finger in the water and paint it right on your paper, okay? If you don't want to use your finger and you don't have a paintbrush, you could use like a cotton swab, like a Q-tip. You could use a cotton ball. Get creative with what you have at home. I also have a paper towel because I am at home right now and I don't want to get water on my table. So I just have a paper towel here in case I accidentally spill my water or something. And last but not least, I have a messy mat under my work to make sure that I don't get anything on my table. But we are using washable markers, so if we do get marker on our table, then it's fine because it can wipe up very easily. If you don't have markers, then you guys can just use crayons to color your drawing. If you want to paint your drawing, then you can do that. I just want to show you this really fun marker technique because you can use it throughout the school year if you have markers, paintbrush, or you could use your finger and water. It's a very simple technique that uses very simple and easy materials. Okay, now that we know everything that we need, let's go ahead and get started. So you guys are going to choose a pair of complementary colors. And in our mini lesson today, we learned about the color wheel and what complementary colors are. Complementary colors are colors that are right across from each other on the color wheel. So I'm just going to organize my markers to look kind of like a color wheel so we can see this better. Okay, so here is my marker color wheel. And to find complementary colors, you just need to choose a color on the color wheel. So let's say I want to use blue in my picture. Okay, so to find the complementary color of blue, I need to look right across on the color wheel. So across the street neighbor from blue is orange. So we know orange and blue are complementary colors. So if you want to use blue, then you will also use orange, okay? If, let's say, you want to use purple in your picture, then which color would you add with purple? What is the complement of purple? Let's look across the street. Across the street from purple is yellow. So yellow and purple are complementary colors. Okay, if you want to use purple, you will also use yellow. And last but not least, one of my favorite color schemes, if I want to use green in my artwork, let's look across the street from green. We have red. They are complementary colors. I really like red and green together because I feel like they contrast each other really well. And let's be real, it also reminds me of Christmas time, which is my favorite holiday. So I might use that one. I'm not exactly sure which one I want to use yet. I'm kind of leaning towards blue and orange because I feel very positive feelings when I think of blue and orange together. So I think that's the complementary color scheme that I want to do today. Okay, and we're actually not going to color this entire picture, okay? That would take a very long time. We're going to focus on the most important parts of this picture, and that is the heart And I want to bring some more attention to the background of our picture. Right now our background is a little bit plain, so we're going to add color to the background, and we're going to add color inside of our heart. We're actually going to leave our little guys here just white, so they'll actually stand out more because they don't have color in them. But we want to add color to our heart, and we're going to add color to the background to help it stand out a little bit more. Okay, so I think I want for my background I'm going to use blue, and for my heart I'm going to use orange. Okay, since we used a Sharpie to outline this, whenever we add the water, the black should not bleed into this marker here. Okay, and I am just going to color on the inside of my heart, just around the edge. Okay, I'm not going to color the whole thing because I do not want the color to go inside of my letters, because that might make it a little bit hard to read the letters. So I'm just going to do my marker all the way around the edge inside of my heart. And it's okay if you accidentally get it outside of the line. If you color outside the line, don't worry about it, okay? We are human, we are going to make mistakes, so that's fine. Do not worry about it. As long as you are trying your best and you have a positive attitude when those mistakes do happen, is all that matters. Alright, so I just went around on the edge inside of my heart, and I did get outside the lines a little bit, but not too worried about it. And then I'm going to take my paintbrush, or you could use your finger if you don't have a paintbrush, and I'm going to bring it over so it's easier to use. And I'm going to dip my paintbrush in, okay, making sure I'm not squishing the hair on my paintbrush, because I want my hair on my paintbrush to stay nice and straight like it is right now. If we crush it and squish it like that, then our paintbrush is going to have a very bad hair day. And who wants to have a bad hair day? Not me. So our paintbrush does not want to have a bad hair day either. So just gently grab some water on your paintbrush. If it's dripping a lot, you can just drip, drip, wipe it on the lip of your cup here, and that extra water will go right back into the cup. If you do get drips of water on your paper, that's fine, it'll dry, don't worry about it, but I'm going to try to prevent it by doing drip, drip, wipe it on the lip of my water cup here. Okay, now my paintbrush has some water in it, but it's not dripping everywhere, and I am just going to start adding it on the edge of that color that I just put down. Can you see how it's like turning into a watercolor almost? Washable markers are so cool because you can color with them just like regular markers, and you can also turn them into paint, which is what we are doing. Okay, so I am focusing on the edge of where I colored, and I just got outside the lines, but it's okay. And I'm going to start grabbing a little bit more water, drip, drip, wipe the extra water on the lip of your cup, and I'm just gently going back and forth to blend that orange out a little bit. As you can see where I put the water, the orange is a lot lighter in color. On the edge, it's darker because that's where I put the marker. But when you add the water, it turns the orange into more of a peachy color. And you'll see the same with whatever color that you've chosen as well. So if you used red to color in your heart, then when you add the water, it'll probably turn more of a pinky color. And as you can see, I'm trying to jump over my little guy's arms and hands. I have gotten a little bit of orange in there, but that's okay. But try your best to jump over those hands and those arms when you get to them. And you can leave it like that, or you can add another layer. So I just did one line right next to the marker line that I did before. And then I'm going to grab some more water, and I think I want to do one more heart on the inside. And to do that, I'm just adding a little bit more water on the edge of where I just painted. Okay? It's okay if you get a little bit of color on your letters, but we're not going to add color to the entire inside of our heart, just around the inside edge. Okay, so I'm just taking my brush, and as you can see, this third layer that I'm doing is even lighter, isn't it? I'm just drawing another heart on the inside with my paintbrush, just like that. And if you don't have the ability to use a paintbrush or use water today, then you can just color the edge of your heart like I did at first. You'll just skip the water part. Okay, so I'm done with the inside of my heart, and that looks really pretty. This adds a little bit of what we call shading in artwork because it's darker around the edge, and then as it comes in, it gets lighter. That color, that orange color, gets a lot lighter until it gets to the white part, which makes it look a little bit more 3D. Before we added the marker technique here, our heart looked very flat. It looked very two-dimensional, a flat shape. By adding this shading or these colors and different tones of oranges around the inside edge of our heart, it gives this heart a lot more form, making it look more three-dimensional, which is pretty cool. Okay, so I am done with the inside of my heart. Now I'm going to work on the background, okay? And to do the background, I'm just going to take my complement to orange, which is blue. So for the background, I'm going to actually move my water out of the way so I don't accidentally spill it everywhere. And I am going to color, careful because the inside of our heart is still wet with water. I am going to color around the edge of my paper with my blue marker. Kind of like how we just went around the inside edge of our heart. We're basically coloring a border onto our white paper here. Just like that. So there's my left side done. Now I'm gonna rotate my paper so it's easier for me to color. And I'm gonna do the top part of my paper. But remember, where we put the water inside of our heart is still wet. It's not dry yet, so be very careful after you do your heart and you start working on your background. So I'm holding it in a place where there is no water because I don't want that heart to get messed up. All right, done with the left side and the top. As you can see, I'm just coloring a border all the way around the edge of my paper. All right, I'm on to my last side, and that's the bottom of my paper, but we're going to jump over our little figure's body here. We don't want to color on top of our figure, so I'm coloring this edge, and then I'm going to jump over this figure and continue my border. All right, I just finished the border of my paper. I did the left side, top, the right side, and the bottom, skipping over my figures. And after you get done coloring it with marker, we're going to do the same exact thing that we did on the inside of our heart. We are going to take some water. If it's dripping, drip, drip, wipe it on the lip of your water cup. And we are just going to do the same exact thing. We're going to add water to the edge of that border that we just colored. Okay, and it's making a lighter blue because whenever you add water to markers or paint, it's going to make something called a tint, which is a lighter version of that color. So right now, since I'm adding water to this blue, it is turning it into more of a light blue than a dark blue. All right, so I'm going to paint this water all the way around the edge. And again, when I get to my figures down here at the bottom, I'm going to jump over them and continue my border. And after you do your first layer of water all the way around your border, you can go in with a second layer, kind of like how we did with our heart. So I think I want to do that. I'm just going to clean my paintbrush, grab some more water, and do one more line of water around the edge. All right, and after you do your border, then you are done for today. So all we have to do is choose a complementary color scheme, color the inside edge of our heart, add some water to make it into paint, and then do the same for your border and your other complementary color, and then you will be done. Now this is very, very wet still with water, so we need to make sure that we put it in a safe place for it to dry, okay? We are going to use this once more next week because there's just one last finishing touch that we have to add to it to bring it all together. I hope you guys have a lot of fun with this new marker technique. I'm super excited to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. I can't wait to see how your artwork is coming along. I know it's going to be amazing because you guys are amazing. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye guys.